Hey there, guys. TC made with TC Gaming. I wanted to do something here real quick. This is optional for you guys. Some of you may not have done this in the first place, but it's highly recommended because what I had talked about in a previous episode is explore some dungeon architect stuff. And the reason I'm going to do what I'm about to do is to set up for that future video where we're actually going to be using some of the assets that Dungeon Architect uses to create random dungeons. Those of you who don't have Dungeon Architect will obviously want to skip that part of it. In order for me to get it ready for when I go to do that, I'm going to do what I'm about to do, which is to switch my Cinti stuff back to the default that we had in here when we started the project. I'm also going to load in here some assets from the Infinity Blade series, which has and it has enemy characters, it has player characters, and it has some weapons in it. And I'm going to go through that process real quick because remember when we created this new character blueprint from the Cinti thing, there was an issue with the way that their bones were and some of the animations, the montages didn't play correctly. So we need to clean up some of the references for that. So if you want to follow along with this, feel free. If you do not want to follow along with this, it's optional. And I think what I'm probably going to do is since I'll be going to um, all free assets that are coming from Infinity Blades. Before we get into the Dungeon Architect part, what I'll do is I'll clean this up. I'll put the assets in there that I'm going to use, and I'll load a copy of this project with the other stuff in there and the renamed assets that we go through in this video. So if you don't feel like going through it yourself, which is a good learning process, you'll just be able to download the project that I put up there for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and find our BP player character. We're going to start there. If we go back to our BP player character, go down here to the mesh, and we're going to put the skeletal mesh asset back to Barbarous, which is BARB. And you see immediately he slams down on the ground like that because the animation blueprint is not correct for him. We're going to put him on ABP player, which will stand him back up. But the montages that are associated with this character will not be right, and we'll show that in here real quick. I just come out and when I attack, see how he falls backwards, goes into the ground, and that's going to be an issue. So we want to do is we want to go and find all the references that were in here for the player characters montages. Those montages mostly were under abilities for the player, and then they're under each different type of primary weapon. So what you can do is you can just go here. They're under GA, gameplay ability. That's where you'll see the montage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this folder here. I'm going to go into the folder here for the player at the root level and just type in GA underscore, and that'll bring up all the gameplay abilities, different things we have. So let's look at Death's Door. Death's Door has the item potion here. And again, this one is pointed towards the Polygon Dungeons, RT Anims. We want to pull this up and go to AM item potion that's pointed towards game character animations. That should put our montage back for Barbarous. Compile that, close it. We're going to go to the next one for the axe, AM axe attack. Again, we want to go AM axe attack for Barbarous. See it changes his icon up in there, compile that and close it. And we're going to do this for each of the ones that are for gameplay abilities. Here's the attack hammer. We just want to just swap these out real quick. Only take a second to do. They're not a lot of them in here. Fireball spell. That is an AM skill fireball. Montage. Gameplay. Fire wave. Skill fire wave. And you just swap these out. Same names, different character. Because of the blueprint issue with their bones. Or the skeleton issue with their bones. This one's called AM skill combust. That for Barbarous. And Storm. Skill meet. Everything goes well. Swapping these out should put us pretty much back to where we AM attack sword. Like I just got to thinking about it. It's a better idea for me to put this in here with free assets, and then I can help distributed this to you guys incrementally as we get more and more stuff in there. So if somebody starts late, they can just download the latest copy of the project and it'll be caught up pretty much. AM item potion, potion mana, and the potion for vitality, which we created. Item, we'll use the potion one. And that should take care of that part of it. So let's go in here and hit play. You should see our character here. Now when he attacks, he doesn't fall into the ground. Still roll. Go through here and we'll see potion. If I hit R, so just potion, we don't have any problems here. We just need to see if we can spawn a Death Store asset. So far, it looks good. Alright, now this is gonna, if it restarts from wave 1, it's because I started in the middle of a level. And remember I told you before, the incremental counter doesn't get updated this way. So it's going to bring me right back here because it thinks that I'm at level 1 again. So quick. Just trying to spawn the Death Store assets so that I can see if my montage works, which I'm 100% sure it will. So that is, we gotta find that, this isn't called Death Store, that's right, this is called something else. That is a specialty. And that is under, that's the Hellhammer weapon. And so, somewhere in here, I think it might even be under this weapon pickup. Gameplay ability for that is the weapon pick. Go and we'll find it here. So the AM attack sword montage, which is normally used with Barbarous, is actually embedded in there. So we'll fix that one as well. Make sure you get that one. And I think that's going to clean that up. Okay. We're going to call that good to go. And if we have any problems, we'll fix it. What I want to do now, it's up even further, is I want to go into my all of my structures. Go into structure from the content level. All structures here. And what we want to look at is we had a struct levels, and that levels gave us a gameplay container. So I actually want to go not to structures. Should be miscellaneous data table. Want to go to levels data table. And level 2 now is not going to be called Polygon Dungeon anymore because we're going to get rid of that Polygon Dungeon. So what we want to do with this one here is we can go there and remove that. Just hit save. So now there is no level 2 map for, which is okay. And I think that that is the only reference we have to that asset. Just thinking to myself here for a second. So I think we should be good on that. If that's true, what I should be able to do is go out to show and explore. I'm going to go back up to content. I'm going to delete my Polygon Elven. I'm going to delete my Polygon Dungeons. This one here is saying I can't delete. I have some referenced assets in there. What else did I have in here? Probably just Polygon Dungeons. So let's close the project. We're going to go into the launcher, library, right click and go show in folder. And I'm going to go to content, right click in here and get rid of Polygon Dungeons now that I'm not in the actual project. Start this up and see what it does. Could have just been because that thing was like loaded in memory or whatever, because it was supposed to be our next level. We'll go ahead and run this and see what kind of errors we get. Struct reference out later. Looks like it's okay. I think that's probably going to be just fine. All right, so now what we want to do is I'm going to show you real quick. If you go to the Epic Marketplace Unreal Engine Marketplace here, and again, if you don't have Dungeon Architect, I don't even know if you can see it in here. Dungeon Architect has some predefined levels that are in the dropdown where they pre-build some stuff for you as a demo example. And it looks like it's not scrolled down far enough to see it in here, but it's under Docs. One of these screenshots in here, whatever it is, one of the screenshots in here shows you that they actually use 3 of the assets from Fiddly Blade. I happen to know what they are because I did some work with this in the past. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my library, or actually marketplace. Under the marketplace, you guys can go in here and type in Infinity Leads. And it's going to pull up all these different props. These are all free, and if you don't have these already, they're great for learning. So what we want to do is we want to take all the, not all the Infinity Blade, so we're going to take Infinity Blade weapons, add to project. We'll put that in our Action RPG project. We're going to go back. We're going to go Infinity Blades. That was the weapons. We're going to add to project. You can actually see that the one guy there was Barbarous. That's Barbarous right there. Game. We're going to go back again. And this time we got the weapons. Got the adversaries. Actually, I'm sorry, we got the warriors. We're going to get the adversaries. Add these guys to the project. Back again. Weapons, the adversaries, and the warriors. Get the effects. Might need them for some spells or whatever. Add those to the project. Back again. This time we want to get these 3 here. We want to get Infinity Blades Grasslands. We're going to get Infinity Blades Icelands. And we're going to get Infinity Blades Fireland. Real cute. Now, I zipped through that pretty fast. Let's go over it again real quick. We're getting the adversaries, the weapons, warriors, the effects, and grasslands, icelands, and firelands, all in preparation for doing something with the Dungeon Architect. But even if you don't have Dungeon Architect, we can load the default demo maps for firelands, icelands, and grasslands to put our gameplay action in. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you how you can set these up with Dungeon Architect to generate random dungeons, which will get us into talking a little bit about things called navigation meshes. So if you're spawning a random dungeon, well, how do you know where the nav mesh should be? You don't even know what the dungeon looks like. Dungeon Architect takes care of that for you as long as you set a nav mesh in there. And there are some properties you can set at the project level for what is called a dynamic nav mesh, which will rebuild itself and do a recast nav mesh as things move in the world or change, which theoretically a random dungeon is a change to the world state. And then also, you can randomly generate stuff and save it as a level if you, so that you have a, um, a predefined thing that you can set up and put your stuff into. So that's what we're going to do as far as that goes, and that'll get us all cleaned up with everything. Now we're going to launch our project again real quick. An update here, but I want to get this done first. Again, I'm not sure why that struct reference is in there, but save all. And probably this progression table. Probably just go in here and say update redirector references. Probably do that even at reference level. Usually anytime you delete stuff or move stuff, you want to that kind of an update. As a matter of fact, I'll go to content. Probably okay. All right, now save all, save, edit, file save all. And what we want to do quick is we have these Infinity Blades assets. We're in something that kind of looks like a little bit of Firelands dungeon. So I'm going to go to maps under Firelands, and there's a forge and an overview. Go to overview. This I don't know if this is just an overview of what assets are in there. Sometimes it's just the assets and actually a demo level, which might be in this level content. So we'll pull this up real quick. It's just an overview of the assets that are there, so we don't that. A maybe it's called Forge. It's one area, which would be fine. I mean, we could spawn into one little area also. Should have been a map in here. Should just be the assets. Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll just use this Forge, um, small area, but that's what we use. So we're gonna go in here real quick and see if there is a player start. Is there? So we're gonna be good to go. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take this map name. We'll copy that, and we want to go into our data table. Our data table for the levels. The first one goes to Action RPG. We're gonna go ahead and add one. It's gonna be called level underscore 2 underscore map. This is going to be called RGE. Save that. It's because I have this open. Try. Now it should say. Still thinks it. I'll go to this one. Try retry here. That should save it now that I'm. I don't know how I got to them. Double clicks. But anyway, now that's called Forge, which is our next level. So if we go into the Action RPG game again, what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and hit front map here. Maps, action RPG main, play. Our game. Well, here we should get one wave. And this will take us, once we beat this will take us to level 2 area, I think. Won't be anything in there yet because we haven't anything in. Again, when we start spawning characters in there, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure they have an ab mesh bounce, which we'll put in design time. Unless you know that it's randomized, then you need to do it every time. It's a really simplistic process. There's my level 2 now. I don't know where it dropped me at level 2, but it did take me to level 2. So let's go into level 2. That was our Infinity Blades. Let me house here, my God. That was our Infinity Blades Firelands. Map. Of course. Should be able to stop it from. We're okay though. It took us to where we wanted to. I'm not gonna get too far down the weeds because this is an optional video anyway. So delete the characters, stuff that were in there before, and then bring over the asset packs and everything. Somebody's been asking me the last couple of videos when they're gonna get to the third person party character or whatever. That's not influenced by the keys of the non-player characters. It's just a guy that spawns and then does whatever he does. So I'm gonna work on that also because you need to spawn a new enemy and somebody else knows how to make a new character with skeletal references that are in the existing one. So we'll tackle both of those in the next episode or one at a time within the next 2 episodes. Anyway, my name's TC Made with TC Gaming. Go ahead and update your project if you get a chance to this, and we'll take a look at restructuring a couple things in the next video, make this even more extensible and ready to go project. You guys have a great night. Take care, and thanks again.